If your pension gives you a choice between a large lump sum today and a monthly check for life, the most dangerous question may be the one everyone asks first. Which option pays more? That sounds logical, but it can lead you straight into the wrong decision. Because this is not really a contest between two numbers, it is a decision about who will carry the financial risks for the rest of your life. Take the lump sum, and a large part of those risks move to you. Take lifetime income, and you transfer some of those risks away. But you pay for that protection by giving up control, liquidity, and possibly some inheritance flexibility. And here is the part many people miss. Age changes the trade-off, but not in the simple way most retirees expect. Being older does not automatically make monthly income better. Being younger does not automatically make the lump sum better. What changes with age is which mistakes you can recover from, which risks matter most, and how much financial complexity you still want to manage. That is the decision we are going to unpack. Start with the lump sum. A lump sum feels powerful because the money becomes visible all at once. You may see hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in an account with your name on it. You can invest it. You can roll an eligible distribution directly into an IRA or another eligible retirement plan and preserve tax deferral. You can use part of it for debt, healthcare, housing, or family goals, and if money remains when you die, it may be available for heirs. That flexibility is real. But the hidden trade-off is just as real. The moment you take the lump sum, you become the manager of your own pension system. You must decide how much to invest. You must decide how much to withdraw. You must survive bad markets. You must resist overspending. And you must make the money last even if you live much longer than expected. In other words, the lump sum does not eliminate risk, it transfers risk. The pension plan stops carrying as much of the longevity and investment burden. You start carrying it. That is why a lump sum can feel like freedom on day one and feel like responsibility 20 years later. Now look at the monthly pension. A lifetime pension does something a portfolio can never promise by itself. It can keep paying as long as the benefit terms provide, even if you live far longer than you expected. You do not have to decide how much of the pension to sell during a market crash. You do not have to rebuild the pension after a bad investment year. And you do not have to look at an account balance and wonder whether it will survive until age 95. That is a powerful form of insurance against longevity risk. But monthly income has its own hidden price. You usually give up access to the large pool of capital. A fixed pension may lose purchasing power if the plan does not include a meaningful cost of living adjustment. A life-only option may stop when you die. And once payments begin, many pension elections are difficult or impossible to undo under the plan's rules. So monthly income is not simply the safe option. It is a trade. You trade control for certainty. You trade liquidity for a lifetime payment promise. You may trade inheritance potential for protection against outliving the money. The right question is not which side sounds better. The right question is which risk would hurt your household more. Now let us expose one of the most common shortcuts in this decision. Imagine your plan offers a $500,000 lump sum or $3,000 a month for life. $3,000 a month is $36,000 a year. Divide $500,000 by $36,000 and you get roughly 14 years. That calculation is seductive because it looks like a break-even point. If you live more than 14 years, the monthly pension seems to win. If you die sooner, the lump sum seems to win. But that conclusion is far too simple. It treats $500,000 available today as if it were financially identical to dollars arriving many years from now. It ignores investment returns. It ignores inflation. It ignores taxes. It ignores survivor benefits. It ignores the time value of money. And it ignores the fact that the pension offer itself was calculated using actuarial assumptions and plan rules. So 14 years is not the answer. It is only a rough arithmetic observation. Using that shortcut as your decision rule can create false confidence. The more useful question is what each option allows you to stop worrying about. With the lump sum, you may stop worrying about access to capital, but you start worrying about how to make the capital last. With monthly income, you may stop worrying about generating that pension paycheck yourself, but you may start worrying about inflation, flexibility, and what happens to the benefit after death. This is where age begins to matter in a much more interesting way. At 60, a bad investment decision may still have years to recover. You may also have more energy and confidence to manage a portfolio, but the money may need to support a retirement lasting 30 years or more. That makes inflation and long-term withdrawal discipline especially important. At 75, the planning horizon is different. You may value simplicity more than you did 15 years earlier. You may be less interested in managing a large portfolio through another market cycle, and the idea of a payment arriving automatically every month may feel more valuable. But age can also push the decision in exactly the opposite direction. Suppose you are older and in poor health. A life-only pension may be less attractive if you have reason to expect a shorter lifespan. A lump sum may preserve more flexibility for medical needs or more value for heirs. Now suppose you are older, healthy, and come from a family where people routinely live into their 90s. Lifetime income may suddenly look much more valuable. The lesson is uncomfortable because there is no clean age rule. Age changes the decision by changing the weight of the risks. Health can change it again. Marriage can change it again. Other income can change it again. And your ability and willingness to manage money can change it again. For married couples, one of the biggest mistakes is comparing only the highest monthly pension number. That number may be a single life benefit. A joint and survivor option can continue some level of payment after the participant dies. The monthly amount while both spouses are alive is usually lower because the benefit is protecting 2 lives instead of 1. That lower payment is not automatically a penalty. It is the price of survivor protection. And in many qualified pension plans, federal spousal protections and consent rules matter when choosing another form of payment. So if your spouse depends on the pension, this is not your decision alone in practical terms. The survivor benefit may matter more than the headline monthly amount. There is another risk that rarely appears on a pension statement: behavior risk. A $500,000 balance can make a household feel wealthy overnight. But a retirement account is not a jackpot. It is decades of future income compressed into one number. A new car can come out of it. A large gift can come out of it. A home renovation can come out of it. A market loss can come out of it. And every dollar that leaves permanently reduces the pool that must support your future self. Monthly income creates a natural speed limit on spending. You cannot accidentally spend 20 years of pension checks in one summer. For some people, that structure is a weakness. For others, it is protection from their own future decisions. That matters more than many spreadsheets admit. A retirement plan has to work not only for the person you are at 62, it also has to work for the person you may be at 82. Now consider the opposite problem. What if you are highly disciplined, comfortable investing, and already have enough guaranteed income to cover your essential expenses? In that case, another fixed monthly payment may solve a problem you do not really have. A lump sum may give you useful flexibility without putting groceries or housing at the mercy of the stock market. This is why the amount of dependable income you already have is so important. Social Security may already cover part of your essential spending. You may have another pension or another reliable source of cash flow. If your basic expenses are already covered, you may have more room to accept investment risk with the lump sum. But if this pension is the difference between paying the bills and falling short, lifetime income deserves much more weight. Essential spending is a poor place to depend entirely on favorable markets. Debt can complicate the decision too. A lump sum can make a large mortgage or high-cost debt disappear immediately. That can dramatically improve monthly cash flow. But the money used to erase the debt is also money that can no longer generate retirement income. So paying off debt with the lump sum is not free. You are exchanging an asset for lower future expenses. That can be smart, but only if you compare both sides of the trade. Inflation is another reason the monthly option should never be called automatically safe. If the pension is fixed, the check may stay the same while groceries, insurance, housing, and healthcare become more expensive. The number is guaranteed. Its purchasing power may not be. A lump sum gives you the opportunity to invest for growth that may help fight inflation. But opportunity is not a guarantee. To pursue growth, you must accept market risk. Taxes create another trap. A lump sum paid directly to you is not the same thing as a direct rollover. For an eligible rollover distribution, a direct rollover can generally preserve tax deferral and avoid the mandatory withholding that normally applies when the taxable distribution is paid to you. So do not hear the words lump sum and mentally translate them into spendable tax-free cash. How the money moves matters. Now we can build a better decision framework. Do not begin with the lump sum amount. Do not begin with your age. Begin with the risks your household cannot afford to get wrong. Question 1. How much of your essential monthly spending is already covered by dependable lifetime or recurring income? Question 2. If you or your spouse lives to 95, which option still works without heroic investment returns? Question 3. If one spouse dies first, exactly what income does the survivor lose under each option? Question 4. If markets fall sharply in the first 5 years of retirement, can you leave the lump sum invested without panicking or overspending? Question 5. Do you need large amounts of liquidity for debt, healthcare, housing, or family goals? Question 6. If your ability or desire to manage investments declines later, who will manage the money then? Question 7. What happens to the value after the first death under every payment option your plan actually offers? Question 8. Does the pension include any cost of living adjustment? And if not, how will the rest of your plan handle inflation? Those questions are far more revealing than a simple break-even age. Now imagine Susan is 62. She is healthy, married, and comes from a long-lived family. Her Social Security covers only part of the couple's basic expenses. Her husband would lose important household income if she died first. Susan also dislikes investing and does not want to manage a large portfolio in her 80s. A person who looks only at age might assume the younger retiree should favor the lump sum. But Susan's household risks point strongly toward evaluating a joint and survivor monthly pension. Now imagine David is 74. He is single and has a serious health condition. His Social Security and other investments already cover his basic living expenses. He wants liquidity for medical needs and wants whatever remains to go to his children. A person who looks only at age might assume the older retiree should favor lifetime income. But David's household risks may point toward the lump sum if the offer is competitive and he can manage it prudently. Those two examples reveal the real lesson. Age matters. But age is not the decision. The decision is about which risks you want your pension to absorb and which risks you are willing to carry yourself. If your biggest danger is outliving your money, lifetime income has a powerful advantage. If your biggest danger is being locked away from capital you may need, the lump sum has a powerful advantage. If your spouse depends on the benefit, survivor protection may dominate the decision. If your pension would be only one small piece of an already secure income floor, flexibility may matter more. And if your plan offers a partial lump sum with partial monthly income, the choice may not even be all or nothing. Some plans allow a middle path. Before you sign anything, get the exact numbers from the plan administrator. Get the exact lump sum. Get the exact single life monthly benefit. Get the exact joint and survivor options. Ask whether there is any cost of living adjustment. Ask what can and cannot be changed after payments start. Then put those numbers beside your actual household expenses, Social Security, other income, debts, health, and family goals. Do not choose the lump sum because the number feels enormous. Do not choose the monthly pension because the word guaranteed feels comforting. Both choices can be smart. Both choices can be expensive mistakes. The difference is whether the option matches the risks you actually face. So the next time someone asks whether the lump sum or the monthly pension is better, do not answer with an age. Do not answer with a break-even year. Ask one better question. Who do you want carrying the risk when retirement does not go according to plan? That is the trade-off that changes with age. And once you see the decision that way, the numbers finally start to make sense. If this helped you think about your pension more clearly, subscribe for more practical retirement and personal finance guidance. And if you are facing this choice now, write down the exact lump sum, monthly benefit, and survivor benefit before you compare anything else.